Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps with the algorithm. Thanks. Content warning. The following video contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Gabby Petito was born and raised in Blue Point, New York. In 2013, when Gabby was only 14 years old, she and her stepbrothers appeared in a music video, in response to the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, to raise awareness about gun violence. She met Brian Laundrie while studying at Bayport Blue Point High School. After her graduation in 2017, she lived and worked for nearly 2 years as a hostess in a restaurant in Carolina Beach, North Carolina. In March 2019, she began dating Brian Laundrie and moved in with him and his parents in Northport, Florida. At the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, the couple went on their first road trip together. They traveled from New York to California, and they visited several locations on the way. Their first trip was a success, so after they returned to Florida, they started saving money to repeat the experience the next year. In March 2020, Gabby celebrated her 21st anniversary in Nokomis, Florida. 2 months later, in June 2020, Gabby and Brian visited Soap Creek. Brian proposed to Gabby and she accepted. In December 2020, in preparation for their second road trip, Gabby purchased a Ford Transit Connect van. They adapted and equipped the vehicle to be used as a sleeping compartment while traveling across the country. Then the couple worked for a few months aiming to save money to pay for the trip. Gabby became more active on her social media platforms. She aimed to become a blogger, and her topics of interest were mainly about traveling, art, yoga, and nutrition. The beginning of the second road trip. On June 17, 2021, Gabby and Brian traveled to Blue Point, New York, for Gabby's brother's graduation ceremony. From there, on the 2nd of July, the couple started their journey at the wheel of the Ford Transit van. They visited Monument Rocks, Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve, Zion National Park, Rice Canyon National Park, Mystic Hot Springs, and Canyonlands National Park. In each location, Gabby and Brian took several photos and posted them on social media. Domestic disturbance incident. On August 2021, a bystander called the emergency number and reported having witnessed an episode of domestic violence in the street between a man and a woman. The couple was later identified as Gabby and Brian. The occurrence took place in front of the Moonflower Community Cooperative in Moab, Utah.
Hi, I'm calling. I'm right on the corner of Main Street by Moonflower, and we're driving by, and I'd like to report a domestic dispute. Florida with the white van, Florida license plate, white land, gentleman about 5'6", beard. They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower.
Or what were they doing?
Cooperative, but what do you say?
What were they doing?
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
He was slapping her?
Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
Okay, you said it's a white van?
White van. I can give you the license plate if you give me 1 sec. I took a picture of it.
What kind of white van? Like a big one?
It was a smaller van with the license plate of, it was white, Florida license plate QFT G03. The make was a Ford, model was Transit, black ladder on the passenger side.
Black ladder, passenger side.
White Ford Transit.
White Ford Transit.
Another witness present at the time of the incident reported the couple were shouting at each other and acting aggressively. The witness stated Gabby punched Brian on his arm. Then the witness added that it seemed as if Brian was trying to leave Gabby behind and take her phone with him. Yet Gabby jumped into the driver's seat to prevent him from leaving without her, and moved over to the passenger's seat. Then Brian sat at the wheel of the vehicle and drove off. A Utah police officer located the van near the entrance to Arches National Park and stopped the vehicle to interrogate them about the incident.
You want to place your vehicle into park and go ahead and turn it off for me? No, park?
Oh, it isn't park yet.
Okay, turn off your engine. Go ahead and set your keys on the dash for me, all right? What's your guys' names?
Gabby.
Gabby, Brian? Okay. What's going on? How come you're crying?
I'm sorry, we've just been fighting this morning. Some personal issues.
It was a long day. We were camping yesterday, and camping got stuff, flies and stuff. I'm sorry I hit the bump there.
I was distracting him from driving, I'm sorry.
Can I get you to step out of the vehicle for me, man?
Yeah.
Just hang tight right there. Do you mind if I take your keys and just put them on your hood?
You got it, buddy. I'm so
Thank
sorry.
you. Oh, no, you're fine. I'm going to go ahead and close your door, okay? Why don't you come over here? SO229, I have the female that was on the passenger seat separated from the male. Keys are on the hood. You want to tell me what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, some days I have really bad OCD, and
Okay.
I was just cleaning and straightening up the back of the van before, and I was apologizing to him and saying, I'm sorry that I'm so mean, because sometimes I have OCD, and sometimes I just get really frustrated. Not like mean towards him, I just like, I guess my vibe is like, I hear him be like in a bad mood. And I was just saying, I'm sorry if I'm in a bad mood. I've just been really stressed. I had so much work I was doing on my computer this morning.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I used to work at an all-organic juice bar, but I just quit my job.
Okay.
I was a nutritionist. That was my
That's
job.
cool.
And I just quit my job to travel across the country. And I'm trying to start a blog. I just have a blog and stuff. So I've been building my website. So I've just been really stressed. And he doesn't really believe that I could do any of it. So that's kind of been like a, I don't know, he's like down there. I don't know. We've just been fighting all morning. And he wouldn't let me in the car before. And then
Why wouldn't he let you in the car? Because of
told me
your
I
OCD?
told me I needed to calm down. Yeah. But I'm perfectly calm. I'm calm all the time. And he really stresses me out. And this is a rough morning.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't I sit you down in the back seat of my car? You're not in any trouble, okay? I'm not going to be putting handcuffs on you. You obviously don't have any weapons. I'm going to get you into the air conditioning, let you take a breath, relax a little bit, and then I'll come back and talk to you in a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
Alrighty. Like I said, you're not in any trouble. So just go ahead and take a seat.
She just gets worked up sometimes, and I try and really distance myself from her. So like I lock the car and I walk away from her. What happened this morning is that she's trying to start up like her own little website blog and everything. So I give her time. And we really had a nice morning, if anything. But she just got worked up because we were trying to get going and get our day going because we want to go like Arches before the stuff every time.
Okay. You want to tell me about those scratches on your face?
She had a cell phone in her hand. That's why I was pushing her away, because she wanted I locked the keys so I could walk away. I said, let's just take a breather and let's not, go anywhere. Let's just calm down for a minute because she was getting really worked up. And then she had her phone and was trying to get the keys from me, so I got in the way. I was just trying to, I know I shouldn't push, but I was just trying to push her away to go, let's just take a minute, step back and breathe. And she got me with her phone.
Can I see your hand? Oh, you got a mark right here.
Oh, that's from a wire.
That's from a wire?
Yeah.
You want to tell me about hitting that curb?
Hitting the curb was her grabbing the wheel.
She grabbed the wheel?
Yeah. She said, I can't believe we're getting pulled over, and then she grabbed the wheel.
What about the speed? Did she take over the pedal on you?
If I was going fast, I'm sorry. No, it's probably just the moment of, I'm still shaking now. The adrenaline, seeing the lights flashing up, and then her gripping the wheel. So if I sped up, I'm sorry about that. Or if I was speeding beforehand, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it took quite a bit to catch up to you. So, yeah.
I'm sorry about that. We're just going into the park again to get water because we have a 6-gallon water container to fill up. So we're just grabbing water for the hike.
Okay.
And I was trying to keep everything calm and quiet because there's plans still to go for a hike, but it's good. I'm really sorry about that.
Of course. Do me a favor. You want to go ahead and just take a seat right over here on the curb for me?
And if I was speeding, I'm sorry. I want to apologize.
You don't have anything in that pocket or anything like that, do you?
Nope.
Just the wallet? All right. And then, do you mind lifting your shirt so I can check the waistband? Turn around for me real quick. Perfect.
Nothing.
I just want to make sure. That's all, man. Go ahead, do me a favor, take a seat, all right?
Be mean to you or anything? Well, you know, they never. There's a first time, and then it usually. We'll go see what Brian's saying, but I think you've heard everything now from.
Quick question. You said you were hitting him in the arm. Did you grab the steering wheel?
No, I didn't.
You did not touch the steering wheel?
I didn't touch the steering wheel, but only for like a second because I just saw the lights come on and it was more just like, you're an idiot. Like, you know.
But did you grab the steering wheel and like swerve or anything like that?
No. I didn't touch the steering wheel at all.
Okay.
But we just had a little disagreement there. And the disagreement was just that she was getting a little worked up and I was saying, no, it's okay, thank you so much.
As long as it's cool, that's good.
So it was just more of a disagreement, and I just wanted to say...
What was the disagreement about?
It was, I wouldn't even call it disagreement. It was just that I'm dirty and I can't change being dirty. Like, I got dirty feet, I got sand on my flip-flops and stuff like that. It was that we were at the coffee shop for so long because we were there from 9 to 3. So I guess there's a few little things, little relationships. I don't know if you're in a relationship, but I'm sure
I've been married for over 5 years now. So.
There's a lot of little things. Right?
Yeah, I can go
and
I get it.
We really... We weren't physical before the point where I said, all right, let's just take a breather and like walk away for a minute. I'll lock the van up and I'll go for a walk this way and you can go walk that way on the block. You know, there's that what is it called, moonflower?
Right,
yeah. You know, nice areas. You can go either way. It's all shaded. So let's go for a little walk and breathe and come back. Because we're happy with it. I'm not upset with her. She got a little worked up and she had a phone in her hand and her keys and everything. And she wanted. Not her keys, her rings. She had her rings, her phone, and I was holding on to the keys because I didn't want to go anywhere. And my big fear is I don't have my phone. I don't have a phone, so she goes off without me. But I'm on my own. So I was saying, let's just go for a walk, and she was trying to get the keys for me. So I was just going, just wait, back up, and that's when she hit me. And I didn't get. I don't want to push you, but I didn't get overtly physical. I was just trying to keep her away and not get hit. And then I got really loud, and like that's probably whoever's attention where I was going, you know, back up, get away, just give me a...
Okay, so you said you pushed her to create some distance, obviously, right? What happened after that? What got the scratches on your eye?
The phone.
The phone? So you pushed her and she hit you?
It wasn't like a push and she jumped on me. She was already, I don't want to, she was already swinging and I was pushing. A lot of angles, a lot of nails, a lot of rings.
Yeah, you got 3 scratches in your neck. You got one on the left side of your nose. You got one in your face here, and you got 4 bleeding over there. So you just try to. So it looks like 2 hands coming in.
Do you mind lifting up your right sleeve for me? I'm curious about something.
A little bit of nails. I suppose fingernails, but I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about
Is
fingernails.
it bruised or tender or anything like
No.
that?
Okay. I'm fine, and I love Gabby. I hope she doesn't have too many complaints about me. I'm just, I feel bad I could get so public. I was just trying to be loud. So listen, try to make her calm down and be like, look, everyone's watching. And like, stop this. He never saw the male strike the female. He saw the male trying to lock her out of the vehicle. She even told us that he was trying to lock her out, told her to go take a walk, so that she was trying to get in. She eventually couldn't get in and actually clawed her way in through the driver's door. He says, I don't understand why she's doing that. Well, I think it's because it was the only door that wasn't locked that she could get through. So she's trying to get in over him. He's trying to disengage from her. I guess he hung her backpack on the back probably so she'd have her shit so that he didn't have to engage with her. Everything she's saying is the same thing. I haven't heard what he said, but if that's what he said, it's also what the witness is saying. The witness says, I never saw him hit her. I saw him shove her, but I couldn't tell if it was an aggression against her or a defense against her, as far as her, being the aggressor. So at this point, unless the guy's screaming that he needs to go to jail and did something to this girl, it sounds to me like she is the primary aggressor.
This is what I'm going to do. I've decided I am not going to cite you for domestic violence battery, okay? It was only going to be a Class B misdemeanor. However, the domestic violence portion of it enhances it. Makes life a major pain in the butt, especially you're 22, right? So I'm choosing not to cite you today. So you are not going to be charged with anything. Alright? But this is what I do have to do. I am separating the two of you tonight. Okay? I want you guys both to be tonight away from each other, relax, breathe, cry.
None of them wanted to present charges or be separated from the other. So the police classified the incident as a mental emotional health break instead of a domestic violence incident. Then the police officers arranged for the couple to spend the night separated from each other. Brian spent a night at the Bowen Motel in Moab, while Gabby slept in the van. 5 days later, on the 17th of August, Brian flew from Salt Lake City to Tampa, Florida. In the meantime, Gabby rented a room in Fairfield by Marriott Hotel near Salt Lake City International Airport and waited for Brian's return. Later, the lawyer hired by Brian's family told the reason Brian traveled back to Florida was to obtain some items, and empty and close the storage unit to save money, as they contemplated extending the road trip. On the 23rd of August, Brian returned to Salt Lake City to join Gabby, and the young couple continued the trip. Gabby checked out from the hotel she was staying in Salt Lake City on the 24th of August, and the hotel staff affirmed had seen her leaving with Brian. Also on the 24th of August, Gabby did a FaceTime call to her mother. She said she was in Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming and was traveling from Salt Lake City to Yellowstone National Park. The last posting. The last time Gabby's mother spoke to Gabby was on the 25th of August, and Gabby confirmed she was heading to Yellowstone National Park. On the 25th of August, Gabby made her last Instagram posting. She posted photos taken in front of a butterfly mural outside of a restaurant in Ogden, Utah. An eyewitness affirmed had seen Gabby and Brian at Mary Piglet's, a Tex-Mex restaurant in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, on the 27th of August, between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. The witness said that Brian had an argument with the restaurant staff about money. He was described as acting aggressively towards the restaurant's employers. The witness said later Gabby returned to the restaurant crying and apologized for Brian's behavior. The restaurant staff also confirmed the altercation on social media. A couple of YouTubers, Jen and Kyle Baytoon, posted in their YouTube channel Red, White and Baytoon, a dashcam footage showing what seems to be the white van Gabby and Brian were traveling. The video was shot on the 27th of August around 6 p.m., and it was taken in the Spread Creek dispersed camping area of Bridger Teton National Forest in Wyoming near Grand Teton National Park. The YouTubers said they became interested in the van because the license plate of the van was from Florida, the same state as theirs. They also added they saw the van again later at night in the same area. A closer analysis of the footage reveals that someone hidden inside the van closed the door as they came closer. Also on the 27th of August, Gabby's mother received a message from her phone saying, "Can you help Stan? I just keep getting his voicemails and missed calls." Gabby's mother became concerned because Stan was her grandfather, and Gabby had never referred to him by his first name. She doubted the message was sent by Gabby. Jessica Schultz, an eyewitness, reported to the FBI to have seen a white van driving slowly, and a man acting weird near the Spread Creek dispersed camping area of Bridger Teton National Forest and Grand Teton National Park. She said she saw him on 3 different occasions, the 26th, 27th, and 28th of August. She gave the exact coordinates where she spotted the van to the FBI. Later, it was reported that these coordinates were crucial to help the authorities to find Gabby's remains. Jessica Schultz posted a video to TikTok with her observations.
So I saw Brian Laundrie parking his van August 26th at Spread Creek. So I'd already reported to the FBI what I had seen, I wasn't 100% sure, but now that there's dash cam footage of the van where I saw it, I'm 100% certain that I did see him parking his van. And he was very kind of awkward and confused, and it was just him. There was no Gabby, but that's only because as a van lifer, I was checking out their van, and I was checking out to see if it was a couple or a solo dude. So it was a solo dude as far as I could see, unless she was in the back somewhere. But when I pulled up, he was driving still and hadn't yet pulled over. So I was like, hey, what are you going to do? Are you going to get over? Are you going to let me pass? Because it's only one car width of a road. And he kind of pulled over like halfway and made me drive out of the road to go around him. So I thought it was just really weird. And for a timeline, it was parked on the 26th, I believe. Sorry, my last video cut off. I guess I could only get 60 seconds, but it's probably a good thing because the FBI actually called me back after I posted that, and not because they saw my TikTok. So a group of friends and I were camped at Spread Creek from the 22nd to the 29th, and in that time frame, we all independently noticed that van parked there. And I noticed it particularly because I had seen it trying to park, and also because it wasn't actually parked in a designated spot. The Spread Creek area is a bunch of designated camping spots, and you're not supposed to camp outside those designated spots, and this van was not in a real spot, so I figured they'd get booted by the people that patrol the area. But the van was there for several days and nights, and it did not get booted. The weirdest part about it was that there was no indication that there was anybody actually at the van. Usually small van people have their doors open, they're outside, they have a hammock, something, but we didn't see any signs of actual life.
Miranda Baker, also a witness, claimed that on the 29th of August, she and her boyfriend gave Brian a ride from an area near Coulter Bay Village. She said he freaked out when he found out they were going to Jackson Hole instead of Jackson, Wyoming. Brian asked them to stop the car and offered them money for the ride. They dropped him near the Jackson Lake Dam at 6:09 p.m.
Hi, my name is Miranda Baker, and on August 29th, my boyfriend and I picked up Brian at Grand Teton National Park at 5:30 at night at Coulter Bay. I'm hoping this can help someone identify him because I saw him from TikTok, which then made me call the authorities, and my boyfriend and I have been in contact with a bunch of different people to help piece together different parts of this case. But we picked him up at Coulter Bay, like I said, at 5:30. He approached us asking us for a ride because he needed to go to Jackson, which we were going to Jackson that night. So I said, hop in. He hopped in the back of my Jeep. We then, proceeded to make small talk, but before he came in the car, he offered to pay us like $200 to give him a ride, like 10 miles. So that was kind of weird. He then told us he's been camping for multiple days without his fiance. He did say he had a fiance, and that she was working on their social media page back at their van. Then once, in conversation, I brought up, we're going to Jackson. He freaked out. He's like, nope, I need to get out right now. Pull over. So we pulled over at the Jackson Dam, which I don't know if you know Teton Park, but it's not very far from Coulter Bay. And if this does reach people, I can post pictures of exactly where we were. We picked him up and the whole route or whatever, and screenshots of the timestamps. We dropped him off at 6:09 p.m. on August 29th. He kind of hurried out of the car, and then he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go find someone else to hitchhike. And we're like, okay. It was a weird situation. So when we picked him up, he was wearing a backpack, he had a long sleeve pants, hiking boots, and he had scruff, but he didn't look dirty. For someone who was camping for multiple days, he didn't look dirty, he didn't smell dirty, so that part was kind of weird. And I'm just really hoping that they find her, and this helps someone remember seeing him, or something like that. To clarify a few things that people are confused on still, when he asked for a ride, he has to go to Jackson, which, if you're familiar with this area, a lot of people call Jackson Hole Jackson. So that's why I said yes to giving him a ride. But you think any good hiker would know south and north. We were going south out of the park when he said he was camping north. He had told us that him and Gabby were not camping on a regulated campsite through the national park, that they were camping basically out in the middle of nowhere along Snake River. This is key information. He said that he had hiked for days along Snake River, but when looking at his backpack, it wasn't full and he said all he had was a tarp to sleep on, which you think if you're going camping for days on end, you'd want food and a tent, and he had none of that. And like I said, he looked clean and didn't smell bad. This is going to be my last video. I've said everything I need to say and what happened during my encounter with Brian. I just want to make one last video with everything in it because I know people are going out there to help search for her. So I just want all the maps and the facts in one place. Okay, this is the text I sent my mom when we dropped him off. This just has like the date in it and the timestamp. So we dropped him off at 6:09. But as you can see, we picked him up at 5:54. This is off my mom's because my texts don't go back this far. And then, you know, it says we dropped him off at 6:09. So this is where we picked him up. We picked him up in Coulter Bay and we dropped him off by this dam. He was hitchhiking. There was no van. Gabby was not with him. It was just him. So this is what the dam looked like. We dropped him off at the turnout because this is going south if you're going like this. He then said, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna hitchhike, find a different ride. He said he was gonna go across to the parking lot over here, which was filled with a bunch of people. Again, this is on August 29th at 6:09. So this is a map of Grand Teton National Park. During our ride, he said, well, before he got in the car, he said I wanted to go to Jackson. So this is Jackson. Like right there, you can see it says Jackson, south of the park, right? Jackson Hole is commonly referred to as well. So I said, you know what? We're going to Jackson. Hop in. You know, he was very nice. He offered us $200 to give him this ride, and we picked him up. You can see here, Coulter Bay, right there. It's like pretty north of the park. And he said he was hiking along Snake River, which is up here, and it kind of like goes down a little bit. And he said he was gone for multiple days, and he had left his fiance, never called her by her name, back at their campsite, which he said they camped in a dispersed campsite, so it's not a regulated campsite. And he was gone for multiple days without her, and he was sleeping on a tarp. When we picked him up, he had a backpack, long sleeves, a hat on, and scruff. He wasn't clean shaved, and he had hiking boots on, but he didn't look dirty. The only thing dirty about him were his shoes, and he was very nice during the trip, you know, very calm. We were making small talk. He was agitated when I said Jackson Hole, okay? So we were going south to Jackson. There's no other place in the Tetons called Jackson. Why he became agitated, I don't know. He just was very set on getting out of the car, which is why we pulled out by the dam, and that's why he got out. I don't know why he wanted to get out so bad. I don't know what other place he wanted to go to because there's only one Jackson. So that's all I have, and I hope she's returned safely and they find her safe.
In Jessica Schultz's video, she included an explanation that puts hers and Miranda's accounts together.
When Miranda Baker picked up hitchhiker Brian Laundrie here at Coulter Bay, he asked to go to Jackson, right? And Jackson is south. But I think what he realized was that when they turned here to go to Jackson, which you can get to Jackson, that takes you back through the park. He probably assumed they were going to go this way, which is the bigger route, right? And Spread Creek, where we saw the van up until the 29th, was, you know, right in this area. So I think he was trying to get back to this area and was like, oh, no, this isn't going to get me where I need to go.
Norma Jean Jolovec, another witness, stated she picked up Brian from the Jackson Dam area at 6:20 or 6:30 p.m. on August 29th. And dropped him off at the entrance to the Spread Creek dispersed camping area. Brian offered money for the ride, but he did not want to be taken further than the entrance of the campground, which was several miles from the van. She added he acted antsy about getting out of the vehicle before it got closer to the campsite. Gabby's mother kept receiving messages from Gabby's mobile phone up to the 30th of August. But it's believed those messages were no longer sent by Gabby. The last message she received on the 30th of August said no service in Yosemite. Uncertain date at the end of August. Gabby Petito was murdered sometime during the last days of August. Forensic reports stated that due to the advanced state of decomposition of the body, it was impossible to determine an exact time that the murder occurred. Their best estimate is that she died sometime at the end of August. Gabby was strangulated and her remains were dropped near the location the van was spotted by the YouTubers, Jayne and Kyle Baytoon. Judging by Brian's reported suspicious activity, I would guess Gabby was killed on the 27th of August after the incident at the restaurant. That was the last time she was seen alive, and that was the day Gabby's mother received the strange message she believes that was not sent by her daughter. Brian drove the white 2012 Ford Transit Connect van they were traveling from Wyoming back to Florida. He arrived alone at his parents' house in Northport, Florida on the 1st of September. He was asked several times about Gabby's whereabouts and why he had arrived alone, but Brian refused to speak. This raised concerns about Gabby's well-being. On the 6th and 7th of September, Brian and his family went camping at Fort DeSoto Park in Pinellas County, Florida, which is about 75 miles or 120 kilometers from their home in Northport. After not having heard from her daughter since the end of August, Gabby's mother filed a missing persons report on the 11th of September.
I just want to reiterate that we're looking for her and only her. We're not looking for the van. We're not looking for the two of them. We're looking for just her. We need to find her and bring her home.
And Nicole, if she is watching this, I don't know, but is there anything you would like to say directly to her?
Gabby, we just want you to come home. Call us, let us know you're okay. We just come home, please.
I miss you.
Brian kept refusing to talk about Gabby's whereabouts and what happened during the trip.
Brian, we need you to talk to us. We need you to tell us what you know. Just please communicate. That's all I'm asking. The one person who can help the most is not talking.
On the 13th of September, Brian leaves home to go hiking in Carlton Reserve in Florida and never returns. After obtaining search warrants, police seized the van and an external hard drive from Brian's family home on the 14th of September. On the 15th of September, Brian was declared person of interest by the police detectives in charge of the investigation. Brian's parents hired a lawyer, and he advised them to remain silent and to not speak to anyone about the case. On the 16th of September, the body cam footage of the officers from Utah regarding the incident of domestic violence between Gabby and Brian was released. On the 17th of September, protesters gather outside the laundry's residency demanding the family to help authorities find Brian.
Where is Gabby? Where is Gabby?
After having not been seen for 3 days, Brian's parents reported his son as a missing person and informed the FBI about probable locations where they could find him. Based on their information, the FBI started searching for Brian in the 25,000 acres, 100 square kilometers, of Carlton Reserve, a Sarasota County park, approximately 13 miles or 21 kilometers northwest from Northport. The search gained national news coverage in the United States and was widespread on social media platforms. Also on the 17th of September, Grand County Police released a statement saying that a recent double homicide that also took place in Moab was not related to Gabby Petito's disappearance. At night, some Northport residents held a candlelight vigil for Gabby Petito. On the 18th of September, several hashtags such as #GabbyPetito and #JusticeForGabby became extremely popular. The Gabby Petito subreddit was established to discuss theories, information, and clues about her disappearance. Thousands of tweets were shared by the users, and numerous videos related to Gabby's disappearance were also uploaded on TikTok and YouTube, gathering a staggering total of 212 million viewers. On the 19th of September, remains were found near the Spread Creek dispersed camping area of Bridger-Teton National Forest in Wyoming, and the description of the body matched Gabby's. On the 20th of September, the FBI declared Brian's parents' house a crime scene and executed a search warrant. They also towed the family's car, a red Ford Mustang, for further inspection. Media crew members camped outside the house surveying the family movements for 24 hours non-stop. A trail cam took a picture of a man who resembled Brian Laundrie, wandering in the woods at night. Also on the 20th of September, a body was found in Alabama, but the police confirmed it was not Brian Laundrie. On the 21st of September, Coroner Brent Blue confirmed the remains found on the 19th of September in Bridger-Teton National Forest were indeed of Gabby's. The location the body was found was near the spot where the white van was spotted by the YouTubers on the 27th of August. A federal arrest warrant was issued, and the search for Brian Laundrie was intensified. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis stated he was directing all state agencies to assist in the search for Laundrie in a tweet saying, "We need justice for Gabby Petito."
So I was able to get a briefing from some of the folks involved in it today. They thanked the state of Florida for providing what they said was incredible support to the search effort, and that support has been across multiple state agencies. And I sent the message that we're here to help. We want to do more. If there's anything more we can do to make an impact, we want to do it.
On the 22nd of September, the FBI issued a warrant for Brian's arrest on charges of debit card fraud. Also on the 22nd, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Underwater Recovery Force was called to assist in the search for Brian at Carlton Reserve. The beginning of the manhunting. On the 23rd of September, the United States District Court for the District of Wyoming issued an arrest warrant for Brian on a charge of debit card fraud. Brian withdrew money from Gabby's bank account after her passing, making it an unauthorized use of capital. The beginning of the manhunting had officially begun. On that same day, the FBI recovered a DNA sample of Brian from his parents' house. On the 26th of September, a funeral was held for Gabby in New York.
You always made sure that you made time for people. It didn't matter who you were. You always treated people with respect. It really didn't matter. She cared. She genuinely cared, and that's how people would always, would always come up to her and just sit and talk, and it would take forever to get her out of places, so it really is wild to see, what has happened here. Gabby, growing up, she always had those blue eyes, right? Those ridiculous blue eyes, and you couldn't keep her in trouble. Like, you would ground her, and she'd start crying, and I fold. When I see a lady cry, I fold. If a guy cries, I don't care. But if I see a female cry, especially my daughter, I fold like a deck of cards. It's bad, So she'd be crying. She actually would just do that on purpose, just so I would take her off ground. It's like, yeah. So, and it worked. Now that's something I want you to take a look at these pictures here, and I want you to be inspired by Gabby. That's what we're looking for. That's something that I want to see. If there's a trip that you guys want to take it now. Do it now while you got the time. If there's a relationship that you're in that might not be the best thing for you, leave it now. We've got more emails of men and women doing that. Taking care of themselves first. And watching that happen and seeing that type of inspiration. An email we got from a young lady that her child, who was 11 years old, wants to travel the country like Gabby did in a van. And she's making her parents take her to the, I forgot the Golden Arches.
Arches National.
Arches, there it is. And so it's just wild stuff that she's inspired people to do. Gabby is the most amazing person I've ever met. So if you're gonna leave here today, I'm asking that you guys be inspired by the way she treated people. All people. Love knows no gender. Love knows no bounds. She didn't care. She genuinely loved people. It didn't matter. So when you leave here today, be inspired by what she brought to the table. Because the entire planet knows this woman's name now. And she's inspired a lot of women and a lot of men to do what's best for them first. Put yourself first. And do it now while you have the time. I couldn't be more proud as a father.
On the 27th of September, Dog the Bounty Hunter announced he would assist in Brian's search. But his contribution to find Brian was useless, and many of his critics claimed his actions were purely publicity opportunism. A few days later, he gave up the search and returned home. On the 28th of September, Gabby's family held a press conference while the search for Brian continued.
How you doing? I'd actually like to thank all you guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the media, press, especially the people that are behind the camera. All right, they don't get enough credit for what it is that they do, and so I do appreciate all them. Social media has been amazing, so I'd just like to thank everyone, for that. I do. It is greatly appreciated. That was very helpful in bringing our daughter home. So thank you very much.
I don't think we can thank everybody enough. I really want to thank the Aware Foundation and We Help the Missing for putting her poster out there. It reached over 2 million people within 48 hours. It was all over the world. And I especially want to thank Detective Tracy Barry of the 5th Precinct here in Patchogue, because without her, we don't know when this would have even happened. She got the ball rolling. She's my angel, and I thank her the most. Thank you.
Justice for Gabby is that we see justice for her homicide. The FBI has classified her death a homicide. They are the premier agency in the country. They're investigating her death, and we believe through their investigation we will have justice for Gabby.
Rick,
Yes.
we haven't heard from the Laundrie family. We haven't been able to hear much from the FBI. They can't share a lot with us about Brian's whereabouts. Is there anything that you can tell us about the efforts to find him, what the family thinks about where he might be, and the Laundrie family silence?
Again, for the Laundrie's silence, the Laundries did not help us find Gabby. They're sure as not going to help us find Brian. For Brian, we're asking you to turn yourself in to the FBI or the nearest law enforcement agency.
We're just hoping that through our tragedy with losing Gabby, that in the future that some good can come out of it, that we can help other people that may be in a similar situation, reach out to these other organizations that do similar things and find out what's missing. You know, what can we do to fill that void? What can we do to help people? Just from the Aware Foundation alone and reaching 2 million people, they told us that other law enforcement agencies are now starting to look back at other missing persons cases and starting to reinvestigate them and look into them. And we're just hopeful that we're able to help people in the future, you know, just try to get through to something similar. Yeah, these were tattoos that Gabby designed herself. She was an artist, and
I wanted to have her with me all the time.
so we'll.
I feel it. This helps.
We'll put them.
We'll show us.
No.
Just show us again.
It's all right, we do.
Let it be.
Let it be. Let it be.
Believe.
Just Petito, can you hold up again?
Yeah, sure.
And you said Gabby designed his.
Gabby drew this one.
Yeah.
Listen, here's the end all, right?
Okay.
We need positive stuff to come from the tragedy that happened. All right? We can't let her name be taken in vain. We need positive stuff. All right? So anything that we can do to bring that up and help people, that's what we want to do.
Joe, do you think Brian's still alive?
I'm not going to talk about that.
I don't know how to respond to that. I just hope that people are inspired by her. It's hard to put into words, but it means a lot to me that she's touched so many lives already, and this is only 2 weeks into it, and I'm so proud of her for doing this, and we're going to keep it going. Like you said, keep the light going and help a lot of people if we can.
I don't want to dismiss the ridiculously hard work that the FBI and law enforcement all around did, but social media has been amazing and very influential. And to be honest, it should continue for other people too. This same type of heightened awareness should be continued for everyone. And that goes for you all too.
Just like we ask for help to look from everyone, that if they see Brian Laundrie or any information on that, we're asking that they call the local law enforcement or the FBI. We welcome everybody's help to find him. And if you have any information, we're asking that you call the FBI tip line or your local police department. So we'll take help from everybody.
I want to ask everyone to help all of the people that are missing and need help. And like I said before, it's on all of you, everyone that's in this room, to do that. And if you don't do that for other people that are missing, that's a shame. Because it's not just Gabby that deserves that. So look to yourselves on why that's not being done.
And with Brian, that's our focus is still on mourning Gabby and honoring Gabby. The FBI is doing everything they can, and we have our full faith in them. So, and hopefully will keep us going from here on out.
Jim, what kind of signs has she been giving you? Could you step up a little bit? Thanks.
We actually got behind a car yesterday, and there was a Wyoming sticker, and the letters were GBZ.
Gabs.
So Gabs. She's with us. She's with us.
She's with us.
All right.
She's with
I
us.
think we're good.
The signs are there. You just have to look for them.
Thank you all
so much.
Appreciate everyone.
Thank you.
On the 5th of October, Brian's sister, Cassie, was interviewed by a TV station and urged Brian to surrender himself to authorities.
No, I do not know where Brian is. I worry about him. I hope he's okay, and then I'm angry and I don't know what to think. I would tell my brother to just come forward and get us out of this horrible mess. The last time I physically saw it and the last time I physically spoke to my brother was on the 6th. I've tried to get in touch with him, phone went to voicemail. We just went for a couple of hours and we ate dinner and had s'mores around the campfire and left. And there was nothing peculiar about it. There was no feeling of grand goodbye. There was nothing. I'm frustrated that in hindsight I didn't pick up on anything. It was just a regular visit. I'd say Brian's a mediocre survivalist. It wouldn't surprise me if he could last out there a very long time. But also, I don't think anything would surprise me at this point. It was pretty typical of them to argue and try and take space from each other. But people saying they saw public domestic violence, I've never seen anything like that from either of them. I definitely feel like if they had all of the 911 calls from the multiple people they said, that I think that it would have gone a lot differently and we'd be in a different situation.
On the 7th of October, Chris Laundrie, Brian's father, joined FBI investigators in the search for his son in Carlton Reserve. Their search focused on the areas Brian used to frequent while camping, and on the adjacent Miakahatchee Creek Environmental Park. On the 12th of October, Gabby's autopsy results were made public. The autopsy determined the cause of the death of Gabby Petito as manual strangulation. Due to the advanced decomposition of the body, it was impossible to determine a specific time of death, but it was estimated to be between 3 to 4 weeks before the body was found.
Thank you all for joining us. I am Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner Office is filing the following verdict in the death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito. We hereby find the cause and manner of death to be the cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide.
On the 20th of October, skeletal remains and belongings were discovered in the Miakahatchee Creek Environmental Park in an area that had recently been underwater due to flooding. It was speculated it could be Brian Laundrie's remains. On the 21st of October, the FBI, using Brian's dental records, confirmed that the remains found the day before were indeed of Brian Laundrie. At the time this video was uploaded, Brian's cause of death was not yet been confirmed, but rumors suggested it was suicide by overdose. I have started this YouTube channel mainly to promote my work as a writer. If you like reading, I would like to suggest to you my first novel, Those Who Have Returned. It's a supernatural horror drama. Or, if you like my content, you can also subscribe or support me on Patreon so I can keep doing more videos. Thanks for watching the video until the end.